In the headlines, Zamfara government suspends Emir for turbaning repentant bandits, sets up committee to investigate. People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar says party's victory in Osun State beginning of March to reclaim Nigeria's greatness. Crude oil price hits over $100 again as petrol price rises. And on the foreign scene, EU considers fresh sanctions on Russia as Ukraine war fuels global crisis. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. And now the news in detail. The Zamfara state government has suspended the emir of Sabon Birnin Yendoto of Safe local government area of the state, Aliyu Garba Marafa, for turbaning a notorious repentant bandits leader, Adamu Aliero, as Serkin Falani. This was made known in a statement by the secretary to the state government, Kabiru Baladabe, and made available to newsmen on Sunday. According to the statement, the government dissociates itself from the alleged turbaning, adding that a committee has been set up to investigate the circumstances leading to the action of the emir. In the meantime, the district head of Yendoto Mahe, Garba Marafa, has been assigned to take charge of the affairs of the emirate. Meanwhile, a former chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Zamfara State, Bello Galadi, has recommended the establishment of a special court in the state to deal with banditry-related cases. Galadi gave the recommendation while speaking to Trust TV in Gusau, the state capital, on the anti-banditry bill, which was recently signed into law by Governor Bello Matawalle as part of security measures aimed at tackling the spate of attacks, killings, abductions, and cattle rustling in Zamfara State. The report.
The former Zamfara NBA chairman described the anti-banditry law as a welcome development that will boost the ongoing war against banditry-related offenses in the state. The banditry law stipulates death penalty for bandits, kidnappers, cultists and cattle rustlers, and 10 to 20 years sentence without option of fine for anyone aiding and abetting banditry-related activities. He, however, believes that for the law to be fully implemented, the state judiciary must be repositioned to expeditiously treat banditry-related cases and ensure quick dispensation of justice to the parties involved.
At the moment, there is an anti-banditry bill which has covered the aspect of informants, and it has provided for the death penalty for bandits and informants as well. It's a very nice development as far as I'm concerned. My only fear is that our government shouldn't relent. Issue of prosecution, because we have a very weak judicial system. We have a very corrupt society. We have a very corrupt system. So no matter how a person is been accused of an offense as such, to bring him to book, to mandate him to face the law is another thing altogether. So there has been a few arrests in the past.
The Zamfara former NBA chairman is not comfortable with the 4 special committees constituted by the state governor, Bello Muhammad, saying the committees have been politicized while members of the committees lack the knowledge and experience of intelligence gathering and prosecution.
Left to me, there should be a banditry commission where intelligence will be managed so that before even you commit the offense, the government will have an idea as to who you are. The government will have an idea as to when you were trying to, when you were preparing to commit the offense, so that government will not be taken off balance. There should be proper intelligence for the government.
A journalist, Anas Anka, said the recent call for Zamfara citizens to bear arms by the governor is a clear indication that the security agencies have not been responsive enough in the fight against the bandits, who have continued to kill innocent citizens on daily basis in the state. Bello Galadi and Anas Anka, who both agree that having the anti-banditry law in place now is the best option, however want the government to guarantee the implementation of the law in order to tackle banditry in the state.
The People's Democratic Party 2023 presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has said with his party's victory in Osun State, the march to reclaim Nigeria's greatness has begun. Atiku, in a statement on Sunday, said he had affection for the people of Osun State for obvious reasons. He said no matter how difficult the situation is, men and women of courage and astute valor in Osun State will never be a disappointment. Atiku Abubakar further noted that at this point, when our country needs to take a break from the shameful effects of bad governance, it shall be on record that Osun State provided the compass into that brighter future that awaits us at the horizon. The Independent National Electoral Commission early on Sunday declared the PDP candidate Ademola Adeleke, who scored 403,371 votes, winner. The runner-up was the incumbent governor, Boyega Oyetola of the All Progressives Congress, who polled 375,027 votes. The Independent National Electoral Commission, through its inclusivity drive, is paying special attention to the aged and persons with disability in a bid to make it easy for them to partake in the electoral process. In this report, Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade interacted with the category of voters while participating in the just concluded governorship elections in Osun State. His report is presented from our studios.
Elections are a major component of genuine democratic settings, and all citizens are expected to partake in the process. Over the years, persons with disabilities and the aged have limited access to the democratic processes because conditions have not been made conducive for them to participate. Globally, 1 billion people experience some form of disability. This accounts for 15% of the world's population. This figure is too huge to be ignored. This is why the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has adopted reforms that will make the electoral process more accessible to persons with disabilities and the aged in Osun State. These reforms were evident at various locations. At Ward 4, Unit 2, Temidire in Ibodi. At Akumosu West Local Government, Alamu Opeyemi was excited because he had voted without hindrance. He said INEC officials made it easy for him to cast his vote. I voted without stress. It was easy for me. I feel the disability for. Let me express my joy now. Also at Ward 8, Unit 1, Isere Ifofun, Elisha East, Local Government, Fataye Abioye, who is on wheelchair, said he enjoyed priority voting and that he was happy that he was allowed to vote immediately he got to the polling center. At Ward 5, Unit 5, Osain in Ilesha West, there was massive turnout of voters and the process went smoothly. Aged men and women came out earlier and sat patiently while waiting for INEC officials to commence the voting. They expressed joy that they were still alive to witness another election. All we want is peaceful election at all time. We don't want trouble. We want peace for Osun State.
We want the best out of this election. We don't want violence. We want peace. God will make it easy for us. We thank God for sparing our lives to witness this election. We are happy to come out for the election. It's our civic responsibility. We want peaceful election. We want our people to be peaceful and shun violence.
At Ward 10, Unit 6, Oro Ajimoko Primary School, Oroba in Ilesha Town, young girls who just clocked 18 were happy to vote for the first time. This inclusivity, no doubt, will promote sense of belongings in the nation's electoral system as INEC keeps improving in its push to ensure free, fair, and credible elections going forward.
Meanwhile, stakeholders in Osun State are in agreement that the just concluded governorship elections in the state were credible. Trust TV's Hamido Igbade spoke to some political actors in the state. His report is presented from our studios.
As early as 7 a.m. on Saturday, residents came out to partake in the election. Officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission and operatives of security agencies were also on hand to effectively midwife the political process. The electoral body continued to implement unique innovations that would make the elections more credible, including the deployment of bimodal voter accreditation system and the election results portal. The novelties introduced by INEC and the efficiency of officials of the commission have been commended by top personalities in the state.
Well, you can see that this election, there's a massive turnout, appreciable turnout reasonably, and that shows that the people are willing to vote, they're enthusiastic, and that makes the election credible. The atmosphere is peaceful, nobody is being coerced or forced to vote particular party, particular interest. So that shows neutrality and that shows the encouragement of democracy.
I commend INEC for a well-planned, well-laid-out procedure. Their personnel were here on time. They commenced this exercise on time, and so far they are doing very well.
The Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly confirmed that the BVAS machine worked perfectly.
It's impressive, highly impressive. It's like that of, there is a little bit improvement in the number, in the way and manner in which people, in which electorate turn out compared to that of 2018. And if you look at the way and manner in which the electorate has comported themselves, you will agree with me that they are behaving normally and notice orderliness in what they are doing.
Former Minister of Defense, Mrs. Olushola Obada, also expressed satisfaction with the efforts of INEC to ensure credible election.
I want to commend the officials, INEC officials, even the security people who are around today, even the voters. Everything has been very orderly, and incredibly, the process has been very smooth, no hitches whatsoever, and it's surprising that this process adopted has quickened the voting episode,
Election monitors had observed that during the elections, the bimodal voters accreditation system functioned properly in 92% of polling units. However, in 7% of polling units, the BVAS malfunctioned and it was fixed, while in 1% of the polling units, it malfunctioned and was replaced.
The New Nigeria People's Party is re-strategizing to wrestle power from the ruling All Progressives Congress in Katsina State. An NPP chairman in the state, Sani Yankwani, revealed this while briefing newsmen shortly after a meeting with the party's candidates. Abdullahi Yamadi has the report.
Many Nigerians are blaming the APC government at all levels for the crippling economic hardship being experienced in the country. The New Nigeria People's Party is not mincing words. It is holding the ruling party responsible for disunity among the people and for institutional failure. But beyond that, the NNPP is emphatic that APC cannot escape blame for the thousands of people who have lost their lives as a result of terrorism. And what about the millions of Nigerians in abject poverty, hundreds of thousands displaced families, and the many victims who are in the custody of terrorists?
Nigerians and our people in the state are facing a very serious, if not disastrous, situations of no security, no employment, no economy at all. Things has gone bad.
The NNPP state chairman asserts that Nigerians have a responsibility to reject leaders who are not concerned about their plight. Yankwani makes bold to say that President Muhammadu Buhari has lost direction because of his incompetence all is not well in the country.
A person who is very close to Mr. President coming out to say that we are ready or we want to tamper with the constitutional provision. We want to tamper with relevant laws. And most Nigerians are looking at him as if it is a joke. It is not a joke. It's a very serious and heavy statement, which must be challenged by all Nigerians. It means a lot. He is just telling Nigerians that constitution will be tampered with. Our laws will be tampered with because of his interest, the interest of those people who surrounded Mr. President.
The NNPP has vowed to continue to pressurize the federal government to respect the rule of law and do all that is needful as enshrined in the constitution of the country. Yankwani is adamant that the party under his watch will not accept anything short of what is provided for in the Nigerian constitution that will make democracy and its institutions progress. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. How NDLEA arrests drug baroness at Lagos Airport. Do stay with us.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our major stories. We told you that Zamfara government suspends Emir for turbaning repentant bandits, sets up committee to investigate. We also heard that People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar says party's victory in Osun State beginning of March to reclaim Nigeria's greatness. Moving to other news, Labour has directed its state councils to mobilize for a two-day solidarity protest on July 26 and 27 against the continued closure of public universities. The Nigerian Labour Congress gave the directive in a notice sent to chairpersons and secretaries of its state councils. Labour said the protest is aimed at pressurizing the federal government to conclude negotiations with the unions and ensure the resumption of academic activities in public universities. Meanwhile, former Nigerian Bar Association president and chairman of the body of benchers, Wole Olanikbekun, SAN, said the lingering strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities should be considered a national emergency. People's Democratic Party Councillors Forum from Southern Kaduna Senatorial District has lamented the rising cases of insecurity in the area. The secretary of the forum, Zachariah Achi, at a press briefing in Kaduna said terrorists have ransacked communities, raped women, killed, kidnapped some, and left several others homeless. The report.
Southern Kaduna is an area that has suffered communal clashes, banditry attack, kidnapping and other security challenges. The Forum of Councillors from the area said insecurity coupled with a delay in basic infrastructure have hindered development in the area.
We need to remind you that the Southern Kaduna, just like other zones in Kaduna State, has been on the wrong side of news, owing to the criminal activities of terrorists. These terrorists have ransacked our villages, raped our women, kill and kidnap our brethren. Our zone is also suffering from infrastructural decay. Owing to government's negligence, we are suffering from lack of roads, lack of electricity, lack of healthcare facilities and industries. 6.
The forum also affirmed the PDP primary election conducted in the area, noting that the zone needs a representative at the National Assembly that will make the zone better and rekindle the hope of the people in the area.
We accept the decision of the delegates as the will of God, and therefore appeal to members of our party to remain united and ensure the party's victory in all elective positions in the forthcoming general elections. We need a stabilizer in southern Kaduna, someone who can wash away the anguish of our people after years of hopelessness and despair. Someone who can rekindle the hope of our IDPs, students, farmers, and our ravaged communities.
The forum further called on the PDP aspirant in the zone who did not scale the primaries to join hand with the party to ensure the success of the party in the 2023 election.
APC, by embarking on having Muslim ticket as their flag, shows that they are not willing to unite the people. Just like you said, Nigeria is a complex state and is a multi-ethnic and multi-religious state. Kaduna State is a multi-ethnic and multi-religious state.
In another development, a PDP group from the southern Kaduna at a stakeholders meeting kicked against a Muslim governorship ticket in the state. The group from the southern Kaduna appealed to all stakeholders of the party to pool resources together to ensure the success of the party at the poll.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested a 27-year-old drug baroness, Mrs. Opola Mujidat, for planting drugs concealed in fetish bowls on 2 Oman-bound male passengers at the departure hall of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. The passengers, Raji Babatunde Kazim and Akimbobola Omoni, were traveling together to Oman on an Ethiopian Airlines flight on Monday, 11 July, when they were intercepted by NDLEA operatives at the airport. Here is more on the activities of the agency in the last 1 week.
A search of their luggage revealed wraps of cannabis sativa, hidden in bowls of native black soap and sponge packed into a bag containing food items, which Kazim was carrying. Both Kazim and Omoni immediately alerted the anti-narcotic officers that Mujidat, who was still within the vicinity, gave the bag containing the illicit substance to them at the airport. She confessed to the crime and stated that she brought the luggage for the 2 passengers to give to her husband in Oman. In Nasarawa State, NDLEA operative intercepted over 91 jumbo bags of cannabis weighing 1.295 kilograms, concealed in a truck-mounted natural gas tank by Doma Road around 500 Housing Estate in Lafia. A 52-year-old suspect, Ernest Ojihe, was arrested in connection with the seizure on Saturday, 9th July. In Kaduna and Nasarawa, over 500,000 of pills of pharmaceutical opioids were seized and suspects arrested in raid operations across the 2 states. In Kaduna alone, 2,941 pills of tramadol and diazepam were seized from Shaban Nasir, Aminu Usman and Shamsuddin Hussaini along Abuja-Kaduna Express Road, as well as Saidu Yahya and Umar Abubakar during a follow-up operation in Kano, all on Friday, 15th July 2022. In the same vein, over 2,700 different grades of tramadol tablets were seized during the raid of a patent medicine store at Sabon Layi, close to Mubi Main Market, Mubi North Local Government Area, Adamawa State, on Sunday, 3rd July. While commending the officers and men of the MMIA, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Adamawa commands for the arrest seizures, their dexterity, Chairman Chief Executive Officer NDLEA, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, in a statement signed by the agency's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, warned drug cartels that no matter the iniquity of their modes of concealment, the delicate workforce of the agency will always expose them and their tricks.
And finally, in business, the price of crude oil climbed above the $100 mark on Sunday, hitting $101.16 per barrel after trading around $98 per barrel since Tuesday, as oil marketers in Nigeria maintained an increased pump price for premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, higher than the approved rate. Industry figures seen on Sunday showed that Brent, the international benchmark for crude, moved up by $2.06 or 2.08% to close at $101.16 per barrel as at 6:39 p.m. Nigerian time. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.